What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Run Man. I'm back with another video. This is Trigger Reactions. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do, man. Go on and subscribe. If you're not sure, go check out some of my old videos. And if you're seeing this video, I'm sure you're definitely supposed to be part of the family. So go on and subscribe to the channel, man. But look, we back with another video with my guy Coleon Noir. And he's speaking about the Nashville shooting and the 3 children and 3 adults who were killed, and plus the shooter himself. Coleon Noir is a avid Second Amendment rights and supporter, and he always has great points. I too am a Second Amendment right supporter, so I want to hear his thoughts on it. And he's basically speaking on how gun control wouldn't have stopped or helped this situation. So let's hear him out. We're gonna give our opinion on it, and we're going to go from there, y'all. So let's get into it.
Before I start this video, to the 3 administrators and 3 children who lost their lives, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we live in a world where some people have a desire to ruthlessly slaughter innocent lives. And may your souls rest in peace as we struggle to find a way to stop this type of carnage. And to the Metro Nashville PD, you guys did a phenomenal job saving countless lives that day. You all handled yourself with an unbridled competence and compassionate urgency, and that's the reason why so many people were saved that day. Thank you. Now let's talk the Nashville school shooting. As is the case when shootings like this happen, there's a bunch of talk about passing gun laws so that this doesn't happen again. But the media figures and the celebrities and even regular people who say this never stop to ask, what gun control law would have stopped this? Background checks? All the guns that the shooter had were purchased legally. That meant the shooter had a background check to buy all of these guns, which also means there was nothing in the shooter's background that prevented them from buying these guns. What about raising the age to purchase a gun? The shooter was 28 years old. Are we going to raise the age now to 30 years old? And what about a ban on so-called high-capacity magazines? The shooter had 3 guns on them: a pistol caliber carbine, an AR-15, and a handgun. Even if each magazine was limited to 10 rounds, the shooter would still have 30 rounds immediately at their disposal. That's assuming they didn't carry extra magazines, and in this case, they did. So what are we gonna do? Limit the number of rounds in a magazine to 5 rounds, and then when there's another shooting, limit them to 3 rounds? Limiting magazine capacity becomes a sliding scale with no end, other than to ban all ammo and all guns. There are millions of magazines already in this country, and school shootings aren't the only types of shootings in this country. As a matter of fact, school shootings represent a fraction of shootings in this country. They just get the most press. So it's safe to say criminals...
They definitely get the most press because, it's children, but I agree. It's controlling guns, controlling them. I don't see how at this point that, you could put certain things in place to make it, but the guy had passed background checks. What else could you do to that? Other than background check and age, what else could you do? What else could you do? Really. Can't really, I don't see how controlling the guns would help this situation. I don't. I just don't. I just think that schools need more security. That's the answer. So load up with more guns is what I think, to protect our children when they're at schools. That's just my opinion. Guys, please leave down below what you guys think. I would love to know. But let's get back into it.
Aren't going to follow the magazine capacity limitation. So the criminals will have 30 plus rounds in their gun, while us law-abiding citizens are limited to 10, 5, or even 3, or whatever arbitrary number they come up with. You really want us to live in a world where the only people that have unlimited bullets in their gun are criminals, and we're relegated to 10 or 5 or 3 rounds? And now let's talk about banning so-called assault weapons. Usually when people hear assault weapon, they think automatic machine gun, when in reality, they're talking about an AR-15, which is a semi-automatic rifle, because machine guns are already essentially banned in this country. If the logic is mass shooters use AR-15, so let's ban AR-15s, why isn't that the same logic we use for handguns? Because it's not a secret. Handguns are the most common weapon type used in mass shootings in the United States, with a total of 161 different handguns being used in 111 incidents between 1982 and March 2023. The most deadly school shooting in U.S. history was at Virginia Tech University, where the shooter killed 32 people and injured 17. And he only used a handgun. It's not like this shooter was going up against armed Navy SEALs. They were shooting children and staff members. They could have easily inflicted the same damage with a handgun. Now, I'm not saying the AR-15 is not a formidable weapon. It very much is, which is why we want them. It's the same reason the police used an AR-15 to stop the shooter, and they didn't use limited capacity magazines. As deadly as an AR-15 can be in the hands of a mass shooter, it can also be just as effective at saving lives in the hands of law-abiding citizens. I have a whole series on my YouTube channel called Defensive Gun Use, where law-abiding citizens use AR-15s all the time.
And that's the thing, right? When you do try to control the guns, you're only taking them from law-abiding citizens. These controls are only going to restrict law-abiding citizens. We have too many guns in America, in the stores and on the streets. Why would it change? Like, how are you going to do this? You're going to look up in your database, oh, this gun is registered, and just come knock on people's doors? Like, that's not going to, like, there's no possible way that makes sense that's going to, you're not going to be able to confiscate people's guns. You're just going to force a lot of law-abiding citizens to become criminals, because we will bear arms. That's just what it is. So there's no real logical. I think instead of focusing on taking guns and limiting gun use, or just get more security in our schools. That's it. We need to have a part of our funds that we pay for our taxes to go to arming our schools. I guarantee you, hold on, I guarantee you, these shooters, and most of them just be by themselves, if they see a well-armed and secured school, they won't get in. They won't go in. So we have to do better with our security and securing our children in our schools. We have to be better at that. There's no way you shouldn't be able to see a armed man walking into a school with assault rifles and carbine pistols. Like, come on, man. From all perimeters. And I think you only really need 3 to cover front, back, and the just the, come on, man. I'm not an expert on that, but I know it can be done. It's a lot of ex-military or ex-armed forces guys who would love to protect our children for free. So no, we gotta look into better options. That's just my opinion.
To save lives. At this point, if you're being honest with yourself, you can see that gun control is not the solution.
It's not.
It's the end goal. Meaning the gun control lobby and their politicians leverage these types of tragedies to push their goal for more gun control. It isn't about saving lives. It's about giving them more control over your life. Unfortunately, 6 people lost their lives. But I assure you, it could have been much worse. But no one wants to ask that question. Why wasn't it much worse? The reason they don't ask that question is because they know the answer, and it has nothing to do with gun laws. The reason it wasn't much worse was because of the police officer's efficient response and the lockdown system that the school had in place, so that when the shooter shot his way into the school, he couldn't find anyone to shoot. You can see him in the video wandering around looking for people, seeing little to no one. This gave the police precious time to get into the school and confront the shooter before he could kill anyone else. And that is what we call hardening our schools, i.e. making our schools an unattractive target to mass shooters because they're too hard to attack. What don't we understand about this? We know these people are looking for an easy target so they can kill as many people as possible in a short period of time. So they're not going to choose a hard target where they'll have to, and forgive me for this term of phrase, work hard for each and every kill. The shooter literally wrote in their manifesto that there was another target, but that it was too secure, so they chose this school because from their perspective, this was a much easier target. These shooters are literally dumb enough to give us their game plan, and instead of building defenses based on this information, we're just ignoring it because we're so stuck on stupid about gun control. Since the war began, the Biden administration and the U.S. Congress have directed more than $75 billion in assistance to Ukraine. If we're willing to spend that kind of money to help another country, you telling me we can't spend that kind of money to protect our children? There are over 400 million guns in this country. What do you think will be easier and faster to implement? Ban and confiscate 400 million guns from American citizens? Or hardening our schools by having armed guards, bulletproof glass on exterior doors, possibly metal detectors at main entrances, and soft plans like the one that this school had where they went on lockdown when there was a threat?
Well said. I totally agree. Let's focus on the solution. What makes sense? I mean, you can send $75 billion to Ukraine, but we can't spend $15 billion to secure our schools. I don't know. You guys let me know. You be the judge of that. But leave it down below, guys. If you like this video, you already know what to do, man. Hit that thumbs up button down below. This is your boy Ron. This is Trigger Reactions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.